Throughout Heidi Roizen's career, her relationships and connections shaped her network. For example, her first job right out of Stanford University came about through a friend. Unfortunately, with her creative writing degree, she noticed that the job market was largely limited in that area. But what she did notice is that there was a demand for high-tech jobs. Her friend was employed at a software company called Tandem. Heidi knew that there was a job opening there, and she sought that position out. And the position was the editor of the Tandem company. And so she would be able to use her creative writing skills and use her degree. And as the editor of the newsletter, she would have to sit in at top management meetings, listen to what was going on that month, important things that she needed to know, and most importantly, the CEO would be in this meeting as well. And so Heidi had mentioned that she sees this opportunity to start building a relationship with a CEO. With time coming to an end at Tandem, Heidi graduated from Stanford Business School, and she decided to go into business with her brother, who was a computer programmer, and made this software program called TeamMaker, and she wanted to turn this into a business. And when she first started, she started campaigning vigorously just to get awareness out there about the product and about the company. She built relationships with the press. She was involved in interviews. She participated in panels. And the most important skill that she had was giving her undivided attention to these interviews, to these people, to these important people that were interviewing her, and let them know that she respected them as well. She participated by giving her undivided attention to any audience. Because of her participation on the board of the Software Publishers Association, they elected her the president of the SPA. This gave her significant industry exposure and the opportunity to meet industry owners and discuss their agendas, get different ideas, get different expertise on different products, different companies. It was a great opportunity for her. A quote from Roizen says, she acknowledges, "It's easier to get to know people when they're not famous, because when they do become famous, you've already established a relationship with them." She invested her time into a relationship with people who she found interesting and smart, opposed to powerful. So what this means to me is that she completely ignored the powerful people, and she got to know the people that she knew that would be at the top one day, and it granted her a lot of exposure as well. The next part of her TeamMaker career exploded when Apple introduced the Macintosh computer. TeamMaker decided to dip into a new product line and develop something else, and it was a user-friendly graphics package. This product was called Personal Publisher. Within 6 months of the launch, the demand was so high that it swallowed the operations department. Roizen and Faros, which was the other owner of Personal Publishers, quickly realized that it was wise to sell the company to Deluxe Corporation. Roizen decided to leave Deluxe and join Apple. Before she joined Apple, Roizen had already gained infamy from her role with many industry associations. So just being involved, when she first started out with TeamMaker, being involved in the panels, being involved in the interviews, getting involved with the press, that already gave her exposure to get her name out there. Most of Heidi's network resulted from her investing her time in TeamMaker's success. She was put to the test at Apple when she had to call in favors. So being involved in Apple really was the point to where she had to test how strong her network was and how strong her relationships were with those people in order to benefit her at Apple. With Apple's rigorous pace, Roizen then noticed that she wanted to become a mentor capitalist. She didn't really want to dip into the venture capitalist part of that yet, because she didn't want to give any type of monetary obligations, I'm assuming. And as an outside member of startup companies, her networking skills and her planning strategies and her marketing expertise with her industry contacts, Heidi coached these startups through beginning phases. So I think Heidi's experience with not only networking, but with starting a business, she knew where that was going to take her. The CEO, Vincent Plevenge of Preview Systems, explains why he sought out Heidi as a mentor capitalist. He says, "I had known Heidi for a while and knew she met my 3 criteria. She brought substantial expertise, could grasp complex issues, and she was very pleasant to work with. 5 or 6 former colleagues of hers came to this Preview Systems because she knew them at Apple." And he says that they really benefited from Heidi's connections. While still busy being a mentor capitalist, she signed on with SoftBank in 1999 as general partner, and she fully committed herself to being a full-time venture capitalist. I think she had gained enough financial income that she can take part in the venture capitalist part. And because of her strong network, Heidi led 5 SoftBank investments to $40 million in 6 months. Reflecting back on Heidi's career and the strength of her network, it not only made her successful, but she strived to help people become successful as well. And all the other articles I read comparing them, in the article on How to Build Your Network by Brian Uzi and Shannon Dunlap, they explain the importance of power, private information, and access to diverse skill sets. Heidi Roizen's network consisted of many different people with many different expertise. Uzi and Dunlap believe having a network with many different ideas and diverse networks, it will help you develop complete, creative, and an unbiased view of issues. Heidi had the ability to reach out to people with power and without power and with different expertise that resulted in them trusting her opinion as well. Heidi also was careful to maintain confidentiality, which brings us back to the article when Uzi and Dunlap mention the importance of private information. Uzi and Dunlap believe this gives some edge to similarities and in Heidi's network strengths, comparing the private information to Heidi. Consistency comes with an attachment to the word integrity. Heidi values responding with consistency, as in doing what you say that you'll do. As mentioned, if they're not consistent, it makes you very hard to have a relationship with them. As Cialdini explains, remaining consistent in your actions is essential to remain trustworthy. Having clear and active commitments helps your network know you are there for a purpose. Also in the Cialdini article, informational conversations establish trust. Heidi enjoyed throwing parties at her house, and not only was this networking events, but it was an opportunity for other people to build relationships with her and with different people who attended her parties as well. And she desired that networking aspect. I think if you're going to be a part of the networking aspect of the business world, you have to desire that trait that you have to go out, you have to take initiative, you have to go out and meet people, be a part of everything. And I think Heidi's strengths, being involved in all of that, definitely defines how successful her network was. Adam Rifkin, in the book Give and Take by Adam Grant, built his network by operating as a giver. And I think Heidi represents that. She represents her giving attitude, and because Adam Rifkin helped he guided startup companies and helped build their network and build their confidence in starting a new business. And I think Heidi used her giving mentality and her giving personality to help those startup companies. And I think that's where Heidi gets her personality, is through giving. And they also both approached networks. She didn't wait for people to come to her. She didn't wait for people to want to meet her. She was the one who was getting out there, getting her name, getting her company, getting her product. She was a part of panels. She was a part of technology groups. She was the one that was taking initiative. And throughout these articles, what I noticed is that it's safe to say that networking with the right strategies and with a giver's attitude, you too can have a plethora of successful connections.